I actually saw a Twitter account earlier. I was going to send it to Calv, but I forgot because we were at work. It's called it's just like people posting Dune reviews.
Okay.
And one of them, a brief description is, "Oops, I fucked a witch and now our son has anxiety." And then another one just says, "A boy wet dreams so hard he becomes a god."
These are all kind of spot on.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find what it's called.
I saw one that it was like half a star, and they just said too much sand.
So it's a lot of sand.
Was that Hayden Christensen?
Yeah, I saw that as well. I think it was Hayden Christensen. Not him, but you know. I'm gonna fucking find this, but yeah, it's just called Dune Opinions. There were some real fucking corkers on there.
June
Opinions.
Someone in work kept calling it. June. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna see June tonight.
It's Dune.
It's like you go back in time, eh?
Dune. Doesn't not sound like a word now.
Dune.
Done.
Dune.
Let's go watch Dune.
They kind of called part 2
Dunny.
Tune.
I've just found this account on Twitter, and they're posting loads of like thirst tweets about not even Dune, about fucking the Eternals. One of the tweets just says, "Kingo took my virginity."
Wow.
It's Kumail Nanjiani's character.
Yeah.
I mean,
is he the hottest Eternal?
I don't know.
No, Gemma Chan's in it. What are you talking
about? This tweet, taking a piss next to a guy dressed as a Benny Gesserit, LMFAO. Hope he doesn't put his dick in a pain box. Aha! That's the tweet.
Okay.
I'm gonna get into this once this is over because I need to read more of these.
Take an account.
Lovely. Right, how long are we aiming for, Dune?
Oh, I don't know. This could be.
I haven't got much to say. Don't worry.
Half hour.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mainly going to be just me and
we could
Calvin
put that in the pod,
shouting at each other.
No, I won't shout at your opinions.
Just call me a twat.
Yeah, but like quietly. Twat.
I'll use the voice.
Twat.
You just hear something behind you.
The chorus going. Twat. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Keeping It Real podcast, wherever we talk all things movies and TV. I'm your host, James, and all the boys are here today, Jack, Calvin, and Reese, to talk about Denis Villeneuve's adaptation of Frank Herbert's Dune. I've said it too much. Dune. It's Frank Herbert's Dune. Right, Calvin, you definitely know the most about Dune.
Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée Chalamet and Dune. Do you want to hit us with a little synopsis off the top of your head? Because I tried to write one, and it's so bloody dense.
So the universe, I guess, is ruled by an emperor. It's separated into fiefdoms. The main family, the Atreides, are being given a new planet called Arrakis, which is the most important planet in the universe because it has a clairvoyant drug on it called spice, which is vital to space travel. And it's sort of been set up as a trap by the emperor because he thinks the Atreides are getting too much power and sway in the universe. So he pits them against their sort of rival house, and then the sort of action kicks off from there, I guess.
Beautifully done. Right, I think what we'll do, we'll start off with our spoiler-free thoughts, but I'm going to go in order of who I think liked it the least to who I think liked it the most. So, Reese, you gave a lot away after we watched Dune on Friday. So go off, man. Let it rip.
Just long, innit? Just like the longest film I've ever seen.
Is it?
James Bond was longer. We only watched that the week before.
It felt like it. I don't know. I was really ill when we went to see this.
And it didn't make you better.
And I was I took a lot of cold flu tablets. I was pretty drugged up. I thought it would make it better. Maybe that's why I was falling asleep. Maybe it wasn't a film. Maybe it was
He said he had to keep nudging
drug.
himself.
But I had to keep adjusting
keep
my
himself
seating position
up.
so I didn't fall asleep. Just because I felt like, I think I went in expecting, a fun movie, and
No.
didn't get a fun movie. Got a movie that was not. It wasn't like really boring. The story was interesting. I just couldn't get into it.
Mm.
I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. But I found myself.
Would you see it again if you weren't high?
No. I'll see the second part of it because when I start something, I see it out.
Of course.
But
I think
so honourable.
Yeah.
I will endure it again. But
Llewellyn always endures.
I'll go next because I actually think I have more caveats than Jack.
I was going to go next actually because I think you definitely like it more than me.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were doing hosting duties.
Oh no, I'm.
No, he gets an opinion as well.
He's part of this.
Never
he gets down on like the rest of us.
We're not even friends with James outside of this.
He pays us to come.
I live in the computer. So I went into Dune with all the expectations in the world. I love Denis Villeneuve's films. He's one of my favorite directors. And I've started reading Dune. I'm a parts way through, and I'm really enjoying it. And I mean, not the last trailer that came out, but sort of their middle trailer. I was one of the most incredible trailers I've ever seen. I'm so in. I could not be more ready. And it's really fucking long, as Reese said. But I think in that, what was it, 235? There's some just astounding world building to the likes of which we've not seen, I think, in so long, probably since Lord of the Rings, of just this grand epic scope, and you not even in just what we see, but what we feel and what we, what's inferred about the rest of the universe and the state of it. I think that's done remarkably well. I have no problem with that at all. The cinematography by I think, is it Greg Fraser who shot this?
It's Greg Fraser, yeah.
Yeah. So he's also doing the Batman, which is why that looks so fucking good. He did Rogue One. It's fantastic, and I love that despite being on this, this really hot desert planet, it feels sort of cold, and there's just a harshness to it, and I love that. I thought the performances were fantastic, particularly Rebecca Ferguson. If there is a heart to this film, she is it. Oscar Isaac's also great. I think he's Oscar Isaac isn't an old man, but he pulls off Wise just so well. I trust him with my life.
About him.
He does. This, I think, like the book, I mean, not as much as the book, but this is very dense. Don't go into this. I feel a lot of people are, going into this expecting Star Wars. It's not Star Wars. It's a much more nerdier version of Star Wars. Of course, Star Wars, we should say, is like sort of very much inspired by Dune. And I think it's obvious, it's tangible to feel how much of a fan Denis is, because there are things in this movie that any other director probably wouldn't have included. But I think he's such a fan of this material in this book that he's going all out, and he doesn't include everything that we get in the first half of the book, because this is just adapting that first half, which that does sort of play into one of my issues with the film was I don't think this should have been one movie, because it would have been, it would have been so long. Reese would have died. But I feel because of it chooses to split the book up, but it doesn't sort of give the film its own rounded arc by itself. So it very much feels like a part one of a story, and we're left in a place where I was like, oh, okay, we're leaving it there. And I think if we left it there, we sort of could have left it in many other places as well. It doesn't sort of build to a climax. So I left feeling quite I felt a bit empty afterwards because I didn't get that, it was all foreplay and no release. It was a lot of foreplay, and also I thought there should have been some more scenes, just some more like human dialogue driven scenes between characters, so that when things happen to them later on, I'm just more invested in who they are and I can empathize a bit more with the situation going on. But yeah, I liked Dune. So Calvin, I'll go to you next.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I think it's hard for me to give a definitive sort of answer because of the second part is quite integral to the whole story.
Yeah.
I would almost describe it as like a flawed masterpiece. Do you get what I mean? Like,
I'm with you.
Like,
I think this will be looked back on in years and as a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But depending on how the second half goes, how much that complements this half, everyone might feel a bit differently about it. But I do think, yeah, like you said, now this is going to really set the standard for how future sci-fi things are made, especially like in the same vein that how Lord of the Rings really pushed fantasy to the forefront into the mainstream.
Yeah, this is doing something that we don't see a lot.
But I do think Dune is a sort of like different beast to Lord of the Rings. Like Tolkien prided himself on being very family friendly and approachable.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Frank Herbert is more heavy on themes and exploring these ideas, which I guess modern audiences weren't really expecting because it was being compared to Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. And obviously, I think they just did a great job marketing it, to be honest, to actually get people who wouldn't like this sort of thing to go see it. Like Reese didn't like it, but I'm completely fine with that because I know Dune is a polarizing book. It always has been. Like, if you don't like high sci-fi, it's hard to get through. Like, Star Wars is not high sci-fi. This is this is grand sci-fi. But I knew it wouldn't click with everyone, and the book never did. So I completely understand why sort of an average casual viewer wouldn't enjoy it at all. I'm just glad people are seeing it. I think, like you said, I think I had that almost like a tangible scale to it. Like you could reach out and grab everything. Like nothing
felt alien.
Like in a world like with CGI is so good these days, I think it's really hard for a modern audience to experience awe. I don't think like on screen, like you imagine going to see Star Wars for the first time or anything like that, even like the original King Kong film, like seeing that for the first time and it was like nothing that had ever been done before. I feel like this captured that, like sort of like looking at everything like, wow, this is like, this is amazing, especially the scene where the rescue of the spice harvester, where the first time you see that worm, and it shows you the scale of it and you're like, wow, that's a big bitch.
It was that scene where I was like, oh, we should have gone to the IMAX. We should have committed. We should have gone.
Yeah, that's one of the best scenes in the book. It's funny you said, because I do think like, you can see the love that Denis poured into this. But my issue with the film is I feel like I only got 85% of what should be there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because obviously I'm a book fan, so I knew things were going to be I'm happy with things being left out that don't work on screen, but I feel like pivotal character moments were left out, which could further enrich the film. That's my problem. Not that they didn't include everything, because I know everything can't work, but there's some relationships there which they just didn't elaborate on. Like there's a whole plot point where they know there's going to be a trap, and Leto was actually trying to be a bit more proactive on it, not like in this where he basically does nothing. And there's a whole, everyone suspects Jessica because she's the sort of outsider, especially the Mentat, Thuther Howard.
Yeah.
But you only really get cameos for him. They have a massive like thing, and like it plays onto what characters do later on, I'm assuming in the second half of the film. There's a lot of threads they didn't go with, like obviously Jessica's relationship. Yue is such a pivotal character, the guy who betrays them, the doctor. They did not at all go into the scenes that he has with Jessica in the book, where he sort of gives his backstory and sort of like you start to think, oh, He tells you.
I think we should
He
have,
tells
like
the
we do in the
reader that-
book, we should have known that he was in on this plot to take down.
Yeah, because it comes out of left field for people. I was expecting it, but I can't think of what someone who wasn't. Like, Reese, did you think it just came out of left field?
Yeah,
That he was the one to portray
yeah,
them?
and I
Because
feel like
I do feel like that it wasn't communicated
I
properly.
feel like
Yeah.
the explanation of he has my wife is very like, for me, that's such like a cop out excuse now for things. But I feel like
I can't remember in the book if the Harkonnens have either killed or they've captured his wife, but you already know that she's dead. And also, David Dallas Melchior's character, Piter, I thought was going to have more to do, especially because him and Denis are such good friends, because he has more to do in the book. And there's a whole subplot with him basically doing what he's doing so he can have Jessica as his prize, which is a much more like nefarious, if you wanted to paint him as a real bad guy, you should have did that. And yeah, but some of the other, but yeah, I thought all the performances were amazing. I felt like some of the Jessica stuff they cut out deserved to be there because, like you said, I do think she's the emotional core of the story. And in the book, I personally feel she's the main character, like because you get so much of her, and you see Paul through her eyes, and she sort of sets the plot in motion. But yeah, I was actually really loved Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho. Like he's one I was skeptical of, but I believed he was this sort of like, you know, this great warrior, obviously, but he actually like one of the best things they included was in the first book. In the first book, you don't really see how the brotherly love between Duncan and Paul. You only get to learn about that later.
Yeah.
But I feel like they did a really good job of that in here. And I also think they built the relationship around Paul and Leto really well. Like the most emotional scene in the whole film, I thought, was when they were at their family's graveyard or whatever it was.
Yeah, for sure.
Ancestral graveyard. And the whole communication they had there, I thought was perfectly acted, and that's an added thing. So they did add some stuff, which was good, but then I do think they took out some pivotal things which probably could have solved most of your problems. Yeah, and it's more annoying because I know those character moments are there. Yeah, I know they're in the story. But yeah, I think Denis Villeneuve's direction is like next to none. I wouldn't be surprised because, like we said, he is such a fan of it. If those scenes weren't originally supposed to be in it, but Warner Brothers, they're on the cutting room floor somewhere.
Yeah, potentially.
I am holding out for like a 3.5 hour director's cut. Even though a lot of people thought it was very long, but yeah, I thought there's more to be had there. It's kind of good that it left me wanting more, but yeah, it's just a shame that I felt it left. It got like 85% of the film. I thought I was going to get.
Yeah, that's my thing. It very nearly got there for me. I think if they just added a few more things, I would have been completely in. But yeah, it just slightly missed the mark. Jack, I think you liked Dune the most out of the four of us. So go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I've been absolutely bought in by the trailers every time they've dropped one. I didn't watch the last one because Carl told me not to because of spoiler reasons or something.
Well, it wasn't. I can tell you what it was actually. It was the part when Duncan closes the door on Paul, and I just thought that's someone could just piece that together and be like, okay, he dies then.
Yeah.
Oh well. I don't think we said spoilers yet.
Yeah,
I've been saying all sorts of spoilers.
I love this. This happened in the last one as well.
Yeah, it's all spoilers, guys.
Yeah, you start with me. And you're like, Reese, give a spoiler-free review. And then I tried to.
That one just stuck out. I was like, oh shit.
And then it just goes, and I'm like, oh okay.
I've been wanting to talk about this film for days since we've seen it. So we've all just pulled out.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, and yeah, sorry, Cal's told me a lot about it when he was reading it, so I've been interested in it for a while. And when, I don't know, the second it started playing, I was just fucking in. I was like, this is blimey.
Did it throw anyone else off? It really threw me and my friend off when it started with that aliens, what was the opening line? I can't remember it. But it's a black screen, this booming alien voice comes out, and it's the line, and then it just cuts to the Warner Brothers lot, and then it's like the opening logos, and I was like, what? I was.
I don't know.
Are we showing this out of order? I thought we were in.
Yeah.
I
They
don't
did something
remember.
great at the beginning of that film because it opens up with this sort of bit of exposition from Charney, from Zendaya's character.
Yeah.
And I love that the last thing she says is, "Who will our next oppressor be?" And then it just cuts straight to Paul. I thought that was such a well.
It's exciting.
It was edited really well.
I thought for the first 10 minutes, I was kind of like, oh, like, because they throw so much at you in terms of just like the law and like the terminology and everything. The first 10 minutes, I was like, oh, I've got absolutely no idea what they're on about. Like I thought to myself, yeah, I was like, is this going to be like really inaccessible? Like, am I going to be like, I don't want to come out having so many questions just about trying to understand the basics of it. But I thought after about 10 minutes and I got to grips with it, I thought it actually was like they did a really good job in it being accessible to people who, I don't know, potentially aren't as invested in like fantasy or like sci-fi things.
Yeah, the way I thought about
Generally.
it is Denis seems like Dune is a complicated story, and he's taking a straight path through it. Is the way I saw it, because I thought he told it in the most simplest way he possibly could.
Yeah,
because
definitely. I think
there is a lot going on, and he did leave out some of the world building elements and stuff, but that's fine for a film adaptation. You know, you got to sort of like, you don't want 10 minutes explaining what a mentat is and why the hell did he just roll his eyes back into his head.
Yeah, like you get it, don't you? You get it through interactions. Yeah.
Like basically what everyone else touched on so far. I thought the world building was immense. Like I was absolutely, I felt like it felt so alien, but it felt like it was real, which I think is really hard to do with things like this.
Well, they shot on location a lot.
I think it was all shot in Jordan or something, wasn't it? Almost.
Yeah, I know they used a couple of deserts.
And Norway for Caladan.
Yeah. Everything just looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I also think the languages were something I was surprised by, and this has been so good. I know the guy who did the Dothraki for Game of Thrones was involved in it, but
cool.
All of those little details were great.
What are like that emperor's army that they go to?
Oh, they're the Sardaukar.
Their
like the
voices.
Blades. Yeah.
Holy
awesome.
shit.
Yeah. So that's like a prison. That's like a prison planet, and they're conditioned into that sort of training. And I love that, like, they make a point of, like, the Atreides army, the Harkonnens can't take them. Like, they've been trained by Duncan and Gurney. They are like the best of the best, and the Sardaukar.
That's why the Atreides are a threat, isn't it? Because like part of it.
Well, and Leto is such a charismatic leader.
Yeah,
like he's a good guy. The good guys are always dying.
I think that's should have been set up more. Of this is why the Emperor's in on this.
No, but it isn't massively in the book. The Emperor, you'll see the Emperor in the second half. But in the book, it's just basically like, bam, like, you don't see this Emperor, but he's not happy like with the Atreides for some reason.
I think we get a better sense in the book, though, don't we? Of why he's taking them down.
They're just getting like quite a lot of sway in the universe with all the great houses. And
I just thought in the film that should have come across a bit more, like. Obviously, I think they do.
I think they do actually have dialogue about that.
I can't remember if I did. I wasn't paying attention.
But I also love, obviously, in the book and the film, that Leto is this sort of like really like, you look up to him, like the way Paul looks up to him, and it's nice to see someone in power in like one of these fantasy or sci-fi stories who isn't just evil. Like
he's a good guy just doing his job.
But they always die.
Yeah. I thought the design of a lot of the tech, the ornithopters, which is sort of their main mode of transport around.
Really want to ride it.
Holy shit! Just the mechanics of how that flies. It was fascinating to watch, and of course, like the sound design all goes into that. Every time they activate their shields, I was like, oh yes.
Yeah. One caveat I have about the shields is the like bore drill darts and the bore drill bomb things. They looked amazing, but they sort of don't work for the shields, because part of the lore and part of the point of why they don't have laser guns in this future and they fight hand to hand is because of the shield technology. You need a slow blade to go through. So I did like those, but it sort of took away a little bit from the shields. Like the point of why they fight hand to hand is because nothing can get through the shield unless it goes slow. But if you've got these big boring sort of weaponry,
because surely if they're finding a way in still, even if they're slowing down, surely a bullet.
Oh, I mean, it looked great. It looked great. Oh, Duncan's escape was cool with the las gun. Obviously, I'm just nerding out with the book now, but I've always wanted to see one of those, like just like straight beam.
Yeah, that was very cool. I think, a lot of people expected just a lot more action going into this, and we get little bits, and I thought what we did get was cool. But
I'm just glad people are seeing it, even if they don't like it, because obviously I just think the marketing for this film was expertly done, and they obviously did spend a lot of time casting. You know, you look at the cast. You got Aquaman, you got Thanos, you got bloody Timothée Chalamet, you got Zendaya,
Poe Dameron.
You got Poe Dameron, and they're all their faces. Bam! Smack them on the poster. Everyone's going to go see that, and I just think. It's such a great marketing ploy.
It made, I think, just over 40 million opening weekend, which
it's made 240 worldwide so far.
Yeah, they've done like a staggered release for it throughout the month.
And the second film will cost less as well because they spend a lot of it in caves.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I mean, hopefully the second part gets announced soon, because as of now it's still not greenlit.
Yeah. Obviously, there's still some big casting choices that I'm really looking forward to seeing in the second one, especially who the Emperor is going to be.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to finish the book before the second film comes out, because I tried to do it before this.
What?
But I
when did you start?
2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
It started 6 months ago.
Not a lot of time. But yeah, so I'll definitely get it done before then, and hopefully I can be more tuned in to what we're getting. Does anyone else have anything to say about Dune?
I thought.
Go on, Jack.
I thought. I think someone's already said it, kind of, but I don't generally really rate Jason Momoa. Like, I didn't really. Like, the first time I watched Aquaman, I didn't really like it. I like it now. I've watched it a few more times. But I feel like he's always kind of samey in it. But I thought he was really fucking good in this.
Love it. His best line is when he screams to hell dogs. Oh, so good.
No, it's when he goes for the 6th time. My boy.
My boy.
Of course, an adaptation of his Justice League line. My man.
Yeah, I generally don't find him like he's cool in that, but like he's never really acting in anything. But I don't know, he's sold it to me in this.
Yeah,
I believed it.
Yeah, I've always thought of Jason Momoa as someone who just needs a really good script.
Yeah,
and could do something with it. Yeah.
Anything else? Do we want to get to the ratings?
I try to keep my review spoiler free because you told me to.
Oh yeah, go on.
One of my issues is I think it was bold to. I know it obviously happens in the books, you can't help it, but like killing off all the characters that I found likable and leaving me with a main character I couldn't give 2 shits about.
Well, who did you like? Who did you like so much?
I liked Oscar
Duncan.
Isaac. I liked Jason Momoa. I liked the lady who is a man in the book. I forgot.
Oh, Leah Kynes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick character.
Yeah.
I feel
like
great.
Timothée Chalamet. She says, I hate these like these just whiny, pathetic main characters.
I didn't find him very whiny. I
don't know. It always seems like when everything he's doing in the back of his mind, he's going, "Why is it always me?"
I would be like that as well.
Yeah,
got forced.
Yeah, my fucking family, my empire and family dead.
He just annoyed me. He shouted at his mum for no reason. That's not on.
It was mad.
I think
no, she sent him into that room. She basically bred him for something that he doesn't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're all bred for something we don't want, Jack. I didn't ask for this. All right.
I think obviously
But
they've
this is
aged.
fairly tame in comparison to fucking Paul's life.
Well, they've aged him up obviously a bit. Like,
Yeah.
what is he probably supposed to be, like 17, 18, 19 in this?
15 in the
he's
book, isn't he?
15.
Yeah.
So I think when you're meant to, if you read it when you were younger, you probably understand more where Paul's coming from about like growing up and so on. But
Maybe it's just.
I mean, I
maybe
wouldn't
it's just
expect you to
his
read Dune
face.
when you were 15, but
Maybe it's just the
but
phase.
Maybe it's just his face.
I feel like he perfectly embodies that character.
Yeah, so good. So good.
Well, Reese was so passionate about that, it's thrown me off.
Timothy Chalamet can join. What's her name from
Frances McDormand.
Frances McDormand. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I've seen. Listen,
top hated people.
I've seen Timothy Chalamet in a film, so
It was kind of justified, even though he's whining about literally his fucking life being completely overturned.
Are we excited for Timothy Chalamet to play Willy Wonka next year?
No.
Oh, don't get me started on that film. That's an absolute travesty.
We need to wrap up because he's going to go on.
Right, I won't.
But it's directed by the director of Paddington and Paddington 2.
I don't care.
God, I can't wait.
If Willy Wonka is only Willy Wonka when you don't know anything about his past. That's part of the appeal. It's the mystery of this man and why he has this chocolate factory. I don't want to know about his past.
Listen, Porter, if I've learned anything from our trips to cinema recently, it's that you should just leave well-loved franchises alone.
Yes,
right?
I understand. I
So
understand what you mean.
Just don't. I'm not looking forward to it. They shouldn't have done it. Come up with some new ideas, Hollywood.
There you have it.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what I'm leaving it on.
That's what I don't get though. Like, who?
Sick of this
like,
remake shit.
It feels like someone like was on their last legs, like they were about to be sacked, and they had to go into like a pitch meeting.
Willy Wonka origin story.
And they were like, Wonka, but he's 15. And they were like, fucking yes.
At this point, they're just putting names in a hat. And they're going, what are we going to do this month? And they're like, Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've gone from Dune to Willy Wonka. Reese.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I started it. Right, Reese, Dune out of 5. It's going to hurt, isn't it?
I don't think it's not going to be that low. 3.
Okay.
Because again, didn't love it.
You merely toterated it.
Didn't need it.
It's a film that exists in my life now.
Yeah, I'll give Dune a 4. I think when part 2 comes out, this is gonna look much better. Because it will be an arc and a complete story. Yeah, the world building is fantastic. It looks incredible. Everyone's great. 4 out of 5. Calvin?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.5, which obviously I was looking for the sweet 5, but I feel like just
you've had your 5 this year.
I feel like it can turn into a but it's weird because I actually enjoyed this more than the Green Knight, but it's doing that 5. So, but I feel like it will. That's because I know so much about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it could turn into a 5 with the second one, depending on what they do with that. Quite easily for me, and I've only seen it once, so maybe on a couple more watches it could be higher. I think I've
definitely got to see it again.
I think it just comes down to the leaving out of things that not just me but other people have commented on being quite pivotal to the overall understanding of characters and how their sort of actions come out to play later. 4.5.
Cool. Jack?
Ring that bell, baby. It's a 5.
He's done it.
Got a bell.
We need a 5.
Ding, ding.
We need to get like a soundboard.
I'll add a bell sound effect if I remember.
I absolutely loved it.
The chicken sound.
I think not knowing what's going to happen as well is like part of the excitement for it. Like when it ends, like Cal obviously knows what's coming, whereas I don't, so I can live in this blissful ignorance. Like the next film might come out and I might think it's total shit, but this part, I think I basically have no faults with it. I didn't think it was too long. If anything, I didn't think it was long enough. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, like that end bit when they're like walking into the desert I didn't have my watch on, but I thought to myself, "Oh, how much longer do you reckon? Like 20 minutes?" And then it ended, and I was lusting for more. Yeah, I thought it was an absolute. I thought it was a masterpiece.
Brilliant.
You've got
Jack, give that rating again.
You'll have to start the book tonight, Jack.
Well, mate, so I've got it on Kindle, 99p.
Bargain.
Oh, happy days. He got his 5. I wonder what mine will be.
It feels like I haven't given a 5 before, have I?
Probably something awful.
I think,
I didn't mean.
you know,
He'll probably give
word to it, Calvin.
It'll probably be the fucking Willy Wonka prequel.
Simply titled Wonka.
Twonka.
He hasn't-
warn everyone. I'm
he
gonna
hasn't earned
warn
that
everyone.
Willy yet.
I'll never give a 5 in this podcast because I'll come in going, it's a 5, and you guys will talk me out of it, and I'll be like, nah, it's not fair.
We'll just let Reese go
I'll be
off,
like,
do
I
his
clearly
entire
know-
review first.
I
and
know
then
nothing
we'll-
about film. It's not a 5 anymore.
Yeah, we'll do it on Zoom, and then we'll add Reese in at the end. And he will go in blind.
Reese does his own separate review, just talking to himself, and then
Yeah, and we'll just attach it to the end.
yeah.
We're all in agreement. It's total shit, and he'll be like, it's a 5.
5-star film.
It's an absolute
Straight
5.
5.
It's a 5 if I've ever seen one. That film about the ghost tire.
Hey,
Rubber.
now, yeah, leave Rubber alone.
All right. Right, guys, that's it for our review of Dune. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know what you thought of the movie in the comments. If you're listening audio only, then make sure to tell us your thoughts on the film on Twitter at Keeping It Real UK. From there, you can find links to all of our pages. Make sure you subscribe because we've got a few reviews coming out this week, so look out for them. Have a great week and keep it real.